Yeah, I caught my Pikachu. Guess I got my exercise in for the day. Hey there gamers, Trace here for D-News. How are those weight loss resolutions holding up in 2017? Are you still going to the gym, or have you fallen victim to playing that new video game Santa gave you this year? Or even better, maybe you're losing weight while playing video games. Maybe. I know you hear all those inspiring stories about shedding a few pounds through rounds of DDR, but can we really count walking around the block a few times to catch a Squirtle as actual exercise? In case you missed it, this mobile phone game came out last year that ticked off a lot of people. It's called Pokémon GO. It forces players to physically move around in the real world to catch animals. Despite memes making fun of gamers finally going outside and meeting daylight for the first time, there have been scientific studies on walking around to catch Pokémon. One 2016 study published in the British Medical Journal surveyed 1,182 participants between the ages of 18 and 35 with an iPhone 6, which would track the steps that each participant took. Players' step counts were then compared before and after the installation of Pokémon GO. Before they installed the game, participants took an average of 4,200 steps per day. During the first week of gameplay, this number increased to 5,100 steps, before gradually falling back down to even less than the pre-Pokémon average 6 weeks later to only about 4,000 steps. Wah wah. Even if you took the peak number of steps into account and assumed that these steps were taken at a pace of 4 kilometers an hour, which is the assumed average in the study, that equals only 11 minutes a day of exercise, which is a small increase. And since that increase didn't stick, it's hard to claim that this video game provides a lot of additional exercise at all. By the way, there is no set number of steps that you should take a day, but definitely aim for more than 5,000. 10,000 is even better. Now sure, that's just walking. What about other games? Wii Fit, for example, Nintendo's at-home exercise game. The Wii Fit was designed to be exercise, right? Well, it's not. At least according to a study conducted by the American Council on Exercise. In their study, participants first used a treadmill while both their breathing and heart rate were monitored. This was their fitness baseline. Then they played what the researchers decided were the most aerobically challenging Wii Fit games, all while still having their oxygen and heart rates monitored. After comparing the baseline to the Wii Fit games, they found that the running-based games most resembled actual exercise, burning about 5.5 calories per minute. But in order to compare that to running on a treadmill, they'd have to burn like 10 calories per minute, give or take, depending on your actual weight. Bottom line, the Wii Fit is still not as good for you as actual exercise. The thing is, even though it's not marketed as exercise, there may be a game that counts. And if you play it, you know what I'm talking about. According to a study in the Cardiopulmonary Physical Therapy Journal, Dance Dance Revolution is totally exercise. DDR. The game requires players to sync movements to music and follow along, stomping on pads, spinning, and, well, dancing. Researchers instructed study participants to play for 30 minutes 3 times a week. At the end of the study, results showed an average BMI decrease of about 2% for women and 7% for men, and that was only after 6 weeks. I know BMI isn't the perfect measurement, but it's something. The CDC recommends at least 75 minutes of vigorous intensity aerobic activity a week. So it makes sense that this would work as exercise because participants did even more than that. We should mention that this is only aerobic exercise. The CDC also recommends muscle strengthening at least 2 days a week. But come on, DDR came out in like 1998. What's in store for 2017? 2 words, virtual reality, of course. The Journal of Diabetes Science and Technology published a study showing weight loss from female participants after they watched avatars of themselves in virtual reality practicing healthy lifestyles like walking on a treadmill or eating smaller portions. Apparently, simply watching their VR selves be healthy inspired them to be healthier too. And that's just the beginning. At the 2016 Virtual Reality Summer Expo, companies released controllers, which can be strapped to an elliptical, which are then synced with a VR headset. And on top of that, there are even VR headsets which make exercise bikes less horrible. Do not tell me to go to that dance bike cycle stuff. I'd rather bike in VR. So, are video games really exercise? Mostly not, at least right now. But that answer depends on what you play. DDR and VR games with extensive equipment will increase your heart rate, which is great. But are those truly video games, or more just an exercise routine disguised as a video game? Something to think about as you walk around trying to find that elusive Dragonite. And exercise doesn't just help your body, it also helps your brain. For example, in this video, we tell you how exercise can improve your memory. Let us know down in the comments if you played any of these games and what you thought about them, and thanks for watching D-News.